Thank you. Good evening, everyone. Welcome to the December 20th, 2022 meeting of the McMinnville Water and Light Commission. Tonight, we're going to start with a call to order. Meeting is now called to order and roll call. So Trina, if you would please do a roll call.
Yes, I'm letting Jody in as we speak really quick. Her join. Okay, Mayor Drapkin.
Here.
Commissioner Tankersley.
Here.
Commissioner Gormley.
Here.
Commissioner Christensen.
Here.
And Commissioner Tate.
Here. Thank you. Have all commissioners had an opportunity to review the consent agenda? And does any commissioner wish to pull anything off of the consent agenda?
Yes, this is Tom. I would like to take off.
Okay,
go ahead, Tom. Sorry.
This is Tom. I would like to take off 3B, the purchase of a water purification system. I have a question about that.
Wonderful. Thank you. We'll remove item 3B from the consent agenda. And if everyone's had a chance to review the remaining consent agenda, I would entertain a motion to approve.
I would so move.
Second. Okay. I have a motion from Commissioner Gormley and a second from Commissioner Tate to approve the consent agenda minus item 3B. All those in favor, please signify by saying aye.
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 And opposed, please say nay. Hearing none, the motion passes unanimously. And we'll now go to the purchase of our water purification system, removed from the consent agenda. And Chair Tankersley, do you want to begin with questions that you have?
Yes, please. I didn't see in my packet what the other bids were, and I thought we should know that before we voted. That's all.
Yeah, duly noted. So we only received one bid. We did go through a formal solicitation process. It was advertised in the Daily Journal of Commerce and News Register website. But we only did receive one bid. I think it was a little bit confusing in our memo, referring to other bids, but we did only receive one.
And Sam, don't we have to make special findings if we only got one bid?
No, because we formally solicited it. Unless you find that it's unreasonable, that it's that you just want to cancel. If you just based on that alone, we can accept it. We get one bid on a formal, we can accept it.
Okay, great, thank you. And I guess for John, a quick question, or Chad, I guess it was, whoever was looking at that. This is about what we thought it would cost, right?
It is, yes. I think total with the trailer and the generators in this, I think we're about 7,000 over our budget, but it's really close.
Thank you. You've satisfied my questions.
Thank you. Commissioner Gormley?
Yes, thank you, Madam Mayor. Hey, Chad, I think the other thing you're dealing with is this is not a commonly manufactured item. It's a kind of a specialty item.
That is correct. Yeah, there's not many. There's not many out there.
So you might talk, or maybe James can talk about where these are normally deployed or used.
Yeah, I can talk about. Sure. So just these are the system we have is a pretty simplistic system. That's why we were looking at this model here. They're deployed. I mean, a lot of them have been deployed over in Haiti, emergency responses, overseas. Down south, they use them in hurricanes, tornadoes, those kind of things. You can use it in a stream, like a river/stream system. You can use it. You can attach it to a hydrant if you needed to. Hospitals use them, so it's a fairly mobile unit, and it gives us a lot of diversity in regards to like where we use it within our system.
Thank you. Any additional questions?
Linear, thank you. I'd move then for the adoption of the purchase.
Second.
Thank you. I have a motion from Commissioner Gormley and a second from Chair Tankersley to approve the purchase of the 3 water purification systems. All those in favor, please signify by saying aye.
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 All opposed, say nay. The motion passes unanimously. Thank you. Have commissioners had an opportunity to review accounts payable and purchasing reports, and are there any questions?
No questions here.
No questions.
Thank you. We'll now have our forestry report, please. If you could invite Brent Keller, forester.
Thank you, Mayor. Well, everything's pretty well wrapped up with the 2 timber sales for 2022. We're waiting for one final small payment. We're about 10 loads for the Powerline East sale, and otherwise pretty well wrapped up. We've got a little bit of road maintenance left to do that's in progress currently. So the program summary was about $2.8 million out of 3.7 million board feet cut this year. It came out real good. You got real good prices, and I anticipate similar outcome here with our sales in the next few months. We're currently laying out the 2023 harvest areas and look forward to having those out for bid like second week of January with a February bid opening. And the other big thing coming up is, of course, reforestation, other permitting, and that'll happen between now and the end of March. Any questions?
No questions here.
No, thank you.
All right, thanks a lot.
Thank you very much.
Have a Merry
Merry
Christmas.
Christmas.
Yes, Merry Christmas.
Yeah,
Thank
Merry
you.
Christmas to you.
And we will now invite up our Power Resource Manager, Jamie Phillips.
Thank you. I have an update for the commission on our recent rec sale. At the September meeting, the commission declared certain recs as surplus property and authorized staff to pursue a sale of those recs. We conducted an informal solicitation process and received one bid of $3.70 per rec from STX Commodities. And after finding that the offer met the best price and terms, staff executed the sale successfully for a total contract price of $240,747.90.
Great. Thank you very
You're
much.
welcome. That's what I have to share.
Wonderful. Any additional questions, Ms. Phillips?
Just a real quick question from me. This is Tom. These were forward recs from the treatment from the landfill, or were they old recs?
They were vintage 2020 through 2022 recs from mainly from the Riverbend landfill, one wind resource. So they were not forward recs.
Great. Thank you very much. Good job.
Okay, thank you.
Wonderful. Thank you. Have a great holiday. Thank you. Okay, we're now going to skip down to new business. And we will start with an appointment to the McMinnville Economic Vitality Leadership Council. So recommendation in your packet to reappoint our clerk, Trina McManus, to the MEVLC. Did you want, Sam, did you want to give some background on this?
You know, and I'm probably not the best person to give background on this. I know our general manager is on this council. That maybe is the reason why the memo has my name on it, but and so maybe I'd invite John to talk about the council, because I don't know a lot about its substance, but I am recommending appointment of Ms. McManus to continue into a 3-year term.
So this is really an advisory council, on economic development strategies. It's actually, I think if I remember right, part of the 2032 MacTown strategic plan that the city has. So I serve on that. There's a number of others in the community. Water and Light has 1 seat. I serve on the council for MEDP. And I think MEDP, if I remember, it has 1 seat as well. So.
Great. Thank you. Any questions for General Manager or for Ms. McManus about the upcoming service? Hearing none, I would entertain a motion to approve the recommendation.
So moved.
I'll second.
I have a motion from Commissioner Gormley and a second from Commissioner Christensen. I'm
Right.
sorry.
We'll just understand this to be a motion to appoint Trina McManus to a 3-year term as a member of the Economic Vitality Leadership Council. That's from January 2023 through December 2025.
Thank you. All those in favor, please signify by saying aye.
Aye.
And those opposed by saying nay. And the motion passes unanimously. Congratulations, Trina, on your upcoming service with the McMinnville Economic Vitality and Leadership Council. Thank you for your service. We'll now be looking at the amended scope of work for phase 3 of the water transmission main replacement project. And for this, I believe we'll invite back up Mr. Hudson and Mr. Burke. Thank you very much.
Good evening. So tonight, staff is requesting Commission's approval to amend the engineering service contract with Santa Consulting for the finished water transmission and alignment study and design. So this is the first amendment to the contract. Funding for this project is available in the McMinnville Water and Light's capital budget, as well as funding through American Rescue Plan Act grant that we received a while back. So the overall contract cost remains unchanged. However, the allocation of funds between tasks 3 and 4 will be modified to fully appropriate the ARPA funding and that match that McMinnville has for the cost match. So the amendment includes modifying the liability insurance for cultural resources as a subconsultant, extending the design scope for phase 3 by 1,500 feet, reducing the design scope in phase 4 by 1,500 feet, and modifying the scope in phase 4 from 100% design bid ready documents to 90% design documents. So that 90% is basically getting rid of the Army Corps permit and moving it to the phase 3 piece. So this, when we started this out, this project, it was we asked for phase 3 be funded through the ARPA funding. So to basically capitalize, we got $200,000 plus a $50,000 match on that. So right now, we talked with the county and they're allowing us to extend that project scope to use all those funds and appropriate them. So we do have a resolution to this, but before we get there, I'll open it up to questions if you guys have any.
Thank you.
No questions here.
None here.
All right, no questions at this time. Do you want to keep going?
I will add one quick thing. Next, hopefully in January or February, we'll have Santec come and give an update on the alignment phase for this. So we're looking forward to that coming out.
Fantastic. Johnson, anything to add?
Nothing bad.
Nothing to add. Wonderful. So Commission is now considering the adoption of a resolution approving amendment number 1 to an engineering service contract with Stantec Consulting Inc. for the comprehensive evaluation of the finished water transmission main alignment and design for approximately 12,400 feet of 36-inch finished water transmission main. I would entertain a motion to approve the resolution as presented.
That's resolution number 2022-22.
Thank you.
So moved.
Second.
I have a motion from Commissioner Gormley, I believe, and a second from Commissioner Tate. All those in favor, please signify by saying aye.
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 Can I pull the commission really quick, Mayor Drafkin?
Oh, yes, please. Sorry. Yes, thank
That's
you.
okay.
Yes, if you'll please poll the commission.
Okay. Mayor Drafkin,
Aye.
Commissioner Tankersley,
Yes.
Commissioner Gormley,
Yes.
Commissioner Christensen,
Yes.
Commissioner Tate.
Yes. Thank you. And the motion or the resolution is adopted unanimously. Thank you. We are now moving to the approval of a broker dealer firm for investments. So if I could invite up our finance director, who is on Zoom. Thank you, Mr. Dunmeyer. If you would take item E and present to the commission.
Yeah, thank you. Madam Mayor. Good evening, Commissioners. This evening, with the guidance of the Investment Committee, brokerage firm Piper Sandler and Company and broker Stephanie Roberts are being recommended for approval to Water and Light's list of approved broker dealers. Piper Sandler and Stephanie Roberts meet all of the requirements of our investment policy. However, as I noted in my memo, Piper Sandler has received 138 regulatory actions over their several decades of operation. While concerning, it appears it's not uncommon for brokerage firms to receive regulatory actions, particularly larger firms employing many brokers. Because Piper Sandler broker Stephanie Roberts has never received or experienced a regulatory action against her, and because all investment purchases will be transacted through a safekeeping bank, thereby ensuring Water and Light funds and securities will never be held by a broker firm. Piper Sandler and Company and Stephanie Roberts are being recommended for approval by the Commission. If approved, this would be the third broker dealer firm and representative added to Water and Light's list, which would enable us to meet the recommendation in section 6.3 of our investment policy, which states competitive bids or offers should be obtained when possible from at least 3 separate brokers. And on a side note, when talking with Michael Jones of Zions Bank the other day, the bank that we have engaged to do our safekeeping services, I shared with him the 2 brokers that we already that were already approved, Mark Walker and Anthony Nelson, and then also shared with them that Stephanie Roberts would be considered this evening. And he said he knew all 3 of them, had worked with them, and spoke very highly of them, each of them. So I thought this was a nice, albeit maybe a small confirmation of our process. Finally, if approved, Piper Sandler's sign-up documents are also included for Commission approval for the mayor and clerk of the Commission to sign.
Thank you. Any questions for Mr. Dunmeyer? Commissioner Gormley.
Just a comment that Commissioner Tate and I are that committee, and we this is a recommendation that we've been before us previously.
Thank you. Not hearing any additional comments or questions, I'll entertain a motion to we want to poll the Commission.
I think we'll have 2 actions. We're going to have a resolution. The resolution before you is number 2022-23, a resolution by the Water and Light Commission of the City of McMinnville approving and updating the broker dealer firm list. That's a resolution. And then we'll have a motion to or we'll seek a motion to approve the Piper Sandler application documents, and we can do that afterwards.
Yeah, wonderful. We want to poll the Commission on the resolution. Trina, if you will please poll the Commission regarding the action item number 1, which is the expansion of the list.
Yeah, do we have a motion and a second?
I will so move.
Second.
I have a motion by Commissioner Gormley and a second by Chair Tankersley.
Okay, Mayor Dropkin,
Aye.
Commissioner Tankersley,
Yes.
Commissioner Gormley,
Aye.
Commissioner Christensen,
Aye.
Commissioner Tate. Aye.
And the resolution is adopted unanimously. And now entertain a motion to review for subject to review of the McMinnville Water and Light Legal Counsel approval of the Piper Sandler and Company entity application and agreement and certificate of bond proceeds for municipal entities, and authorize the mayor, clerk, and investment officer to sign as required. I have a motion for.
So moved. Second.
I'm sorry, was that a resolution or is that just a motion? Just a motion.
It's just a motion, I believe.
Okay, great. Okay, thank you.
I'm sorry, I didn't hear who made the original motion though.
Ed, I think.
Commissioner Gormley, was that you?
Yes.
Moved and then a second from Chair Tankersley?
Yes.
Yes.
Okay, wonderful. All those in favor, please signify by saying aye.
Aye.
And opposed, say nay. And that motion passes unanimously. Thank you very much. And we would now invite up our Human Resources Manager, Marcy Hunley, to present on the paid leave Oregon plan options. Hello.
Good evening.
Good evening.
So today I wanted to talk about Paid Leave Oregon. It's a new benefit program to provide employees compensated time off for work for certain qualifying purposes. So those purposes would be the same as with FMLA. It'd be birth of a child, bonding time with a child, or a serious health condition for yourself or family. It also adds in time off for certain crimes like sexual assault, domestic violence, harassment, and stalking. So it's a mandatory program. It starts up on January 1st. So on January 1st, we will have a requirement to start deductions from employees' paychecks for this. The employee will pay a portion and the company will pay a portion of this premium. Something that's, and then in September, that would be the time that a person could place a claim against the insurance. So it'd be a time that there will be a buildup of funds and then people could start using the program in September 3rd. So the program does allow for something that's called an equivalent plan. And so equivalent plan is where an insurance company would develop a program, an insurance program that would provide the same benefits as the state program. And then a company could purchase that insurance to cover that benefit. So we have received a quote from Hartford. Hartford is the provider of our life insurance. Their rate is well below the 1% that the state is requiring. And the benefit to going with Hartford would be the low rate, and it would also be that it's easy to use for employees and employers. They already have a system for processing claims. We know that they have a quick response rate. I've had very positive experiences calling in for short-term, long-term disability with them. They don't have an approved equivalent plan yet. As of last week, my understanding is that no insurance company has an approved equivalent plan in Oregon, but they do anticipate that that will occur in January. So our plan is to start deductions in January as required by law, and then to pursue that Hartford plan once it gets approved, take a look at it, make sure it's good for our employees and see if that's the option that we want to go with. So here today to introduce this program and then see if the commission is comfortable with the general plan that we have outlined here.
Thank you very much. Questions? We start on Zoom for ease there. Any commissioners have questions?
Yes, I do. So, Marcy, it sounds as if this is a program where it costs the employees less money as well as costing us less money. Is that correct?
That is correct. Yeah.
Great. So if it turns out that's correct and they are approved, I want to say thank you for you or whoever helped you on the staff to find this for our employees and for our ratepayers. Thank you.
You bet.
Thank you. Any additional questions? Okay.
Sorry, yes, sorry. Marcy, you're saying that this is cheaper than the state program?
This is cheaper than the state program, right?
In what ways? The contribution by the employees or the charge on us?
So it's both. So what the state is requiring is that 1% of an employee's wages be paid, and of that 1%, 60% would be paid by the employee, 40% would be paid by the employer. And so the rate that they're offering is less than half of that. So it's 0.416% of taxable wages. So it's below 1%.
Okay, and so the state has accepted Hartford as an alternative then?
They have not. So they're anticipating that in January, they'll be approved for that. They have submitted their equivalent plan to the state, and the state's backed up and working through those equivalent plans.
Because I will tell you, in the construction industry, a lot of the unions and the employer associations have said it's such a mess, they're just going to wait for the state to figure it out, and opted to do the state. So I'm surprised about that cost being less than what their published stuff is. So that's good. Glad to hear that then. So what about the collective bargaining part of it? Is there paid leave already in the IBW agreement?
There isn't a program like this. We have sick time and vacation time that we use for similar instances.
Okay.
And so we will need to enter negotiations for a year from now. January 1st will be the new contract.
Okay, great. All right, thank you, Marcy.
You bet.
Yeah, so our hope is to reflect in the minutes that there's consensus from the commission to proceed forward both with bylaw withholdings as of January 1, because withholdings will be based on the 1%. And then proceed forward towards an equivalent plan with Hartford, with the hope that will actually come to fruition. I think that's our hope.
Yeah.
And if the commission is agreeable, we'll just reflect that as consensus from the commission.
And I'll just kind of look around the room for nods.
Yeah, I'm nodding, but Sam, the question is, would the 1% then go to the state, or would it go back to the employee and to us?
Oh,
So it's written in law that it either goes back to the employee or it goes to administrative costs.
Okay.
And so, yeah.
Commissioner
Okay, great.
Gormley?
So,
Oh, sorry.
And that's if we go with an equivalent plan. Otherwise,
right.
We have to
Okay,
hold it in
great.
trust pending approval of the equivalent plan.
Correct.
So Sam, I guess I'm concerned about employee withholding. You're doing this in absence of a law. Do you need to get the employees to sign off on it?
No, it's a payroll. It's essentially a payroll tax. So it's by law. It's a withholding that we're required to do.
But this is not approved yet.
No, the
Yeah, the equivalent plan is not approved. So the equivalent plan by Hartford
By Hartford.
is not approved yet. But
So how can you take the money out if it's not approved?
Yeah.
we're taking it out to comply with the law as if we're not going with the equivalent plan. We're going forward as if we're going into the state plan, because until we have an equivalent plan approved, we have to assume that we're going to end up on the state plan. And the state plan, if we do nothing, we will be on the state plan. In fact, we've given notice already. Our intention is to go with an equivalent plan. We've already noticed the state that is our intention.
And the state plan is approved and it required to start withholding on Jan 1, right?
Yes.
Yeah.
Well, is that official? I mean, the state hasn't even adopted the rules yet, have they?
Yeah, they finished the rules in September.
But, okay.
Yeah. September 2022.
but they have not approved any equivalent. They have not approved any equivalent plans yet. That's the holdup from the state.
So think about it. If you don't get approval by the end of January and you've been pulling money out of their account, I'm worried about that.
Well, if that's the case, we're just going to keep pulling money because we'll be on the state plan.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, enough said. I'll shut up.
Thank you. And Chair Tankersley, did you have additional comments or questions?
No, that's clarified. Thank you.
Wonderful. So I think there's a general consensus of approval to move in that direction.
Thank you.
Thank you very much.
Yes.
Okay, we are now going to go into executive session. If you'll read us into executive session.
And we're going to go into executive session pursuant to ORS 192-660 sub 2 sub F to consider information or records that are exempt from law or exempt by law from public inspection under 192-355-9A relating to confidential or privileged records and ORS 40.225 attorney-client communications. And if we have any press, the pressers are directed that anything that occurs in the executive session related to the session cannot be reported on. We will come back into open session to take any action. I'll estimate that we'll be in executive session. My hope is maybe 15 minutes.
Okay. So probably just John.
John Spence.